Particles and participation. In the woods at a cabin named Wonder, I am enjoying peace, solitude, another 5 days to go. So last night I was riding away, and I had the immediate, distinct impression that I needed to stop and sit very, very still. I closed my computer. It was 11:11, a good sign I was on the right track. I sat. I felt strongly that I was to continue to be still. Then I understood at once that the room had filled with a strange energy. I could see particles everywhere. I turned off the light. Still, particles everywhere. Tiny white light speckled with blues and greens. Every time a thought would pass through, such as, maybe I should finish that chapter, or it's been a really long time since you, etc., I was guided to do something very specific. Once it was turn my palms up, during which they got fire hot. I was starting to get sleepy when I heard from within to look directly out the large picture window in front of me to what I have affectionately called the tall man tree in my notes about the week. I did. For the next half hour, I watched it literally become a pillar of light in phosphorescent green. Honestly, I kept thinking I must be just really happy and hallucinating, but each time I looked again, I knew this was very real. I was not hallucinating. It gets weirder, though I must report that there was no fear to the experience as it unfolded. Suddenly, there was a streaming shaft of light pointed toward me from the other window on the left that appeared on the floor out of nowhere. I tried to convince myself it was the light of the moon, but saw clearly it had an altogether different quality and was pointed in an entirely different direction than all the other moon shadows. At last came a moment that felt complete, full. I picked up my phone, expecting an hour, maybe even 2 had passed. Instead, 4 had passed. The clock read 3 in the morning. That has got to be a massive record of stillness for me, I thought. I was grateful for whatever had transpired, though I didn't have a clue. Then I heard, "We are here." The statement seemed to come from the opposite window. I slowly turned my head 90 degrees to the left from where I had been looking at the tall man tree. The entire forest in that direction was literally alive with green light forms that seemed to be dancing and moving about in some sort of a purposeful manner. Then a hawk swooped through in the dark. It was breathtaking. I was transfixed. I was not afraid, just curious. There was a very warm energy to the scene. Now I felt the slightest flicker of fear. I began to ask from within myself, what do I need to know? I felt strongly that I was to sleep, that all would be revealed, but that I would be guided when it was time to do so, and for now I should just know my family was close by. So I sat, simply observing, releasing the need to grab my camera and document the proof for whatever this was. The little orbs were fairy-like, but not human form. Neither did they look like whatever I might have imagined aliens to be. They seemed to expand from spheres of light and then dissolve before my eyes. Most of all, they glowed, all green and happy. After some time came a strong telepathic thought conveyed that it is complete, and I knew it was time to sleep. I watched the forms evaporate outside my window. I asked about the light on the floor, which had also dissolved, and heard, this time not in a voice but in a heartfelt thought, that I now carry it within me. I had no ideas or awareness yet of what it is. So I put the recliner back, preparing to sleep there near the windows. I glanced once more at my phone, which had gone all haywire. Not only would it not take pictures, by now I wanted to snap just one in case whatever was out there was still there. It had colored dots flying all over the screen. I did manage eventually to get the time. It was 3:11, 11 minutes. But wait, what had happened in those 11 minutes? I slept a long time and awoke not knowing and not needing to know, trusting truth to be revealed in time. While I have had many mystical experiences, I cannot remember ever feeling something like what I experienced that night. I made the choice to simply be with it, to allow it the space to be. In the days that followed, I would find myself once again pulled by two very strong experiences that created tension in my life. The first was my strong, blessed knowing of the life and experience I am meant to continue to share, regardless of all else and almost at any cost. The second experience came in the form of a deep sadness at the seeming disconnect in my life and all these morsel gifts I can make little sense of, much less put into form. In fact, in recent years, it seemed more and more that those gifts most true repelled, not attracted others. I had pulled myself out of a place of pity, but there was no getting around this experience. Acknowledgement and a patient waiting for the revelation seemed the only constructive choice. So I continued to reconnect to the knowing and allow as much as possible all else to fall away. 2 nights later, a second coming of sorts. As I was getting ready to sleep, I heard very clearly for the second time here to sit still, to watch. So I did. I did not see anything in the dark for a long time, but I felt an incredible activation. Behind me, the little clock on the microwave kept cutting on and off. Then, at around 4 a.m., that second sleepless night, 2 trees suddenly lit up from within, illuminated with the dancing light of that phosphorescent green. I feel the words rise up within me. This is luminescence. May your joy be made complete. I am so in awe in the days that follow that while I have to admit I have had my moments of skepticism, still I know it really happened. When I have heard others describe things like this, most of the time followed by wild tales of visitors from beyond or mystical trips through the soul, it had sounded a bit far-fetched. A light bulb goes off. Wait, what if it was far-fetched? Fetched from afar? What if the truth were a revelation of wonder so true we could scarcely believe it? We are, after all, accustomed to analysis and patterned to a practice of particulars. What couldn't be explained was often relegated to the category of untrue until proven true. We had that backwards too, for what was life in whatever ways it revealed itself, if not most true? The feeling I had experienced on these occasions was absolute divine peace. It was protection and expansion, revelation and elevation. It was entirely stable, and whatever formation was unfolding in these moments with the lighted trees and the particles of light required my participation. The experience was given, and only I could decide how much to take in that night. I chose wonder, the wonder of being, the wonder of not knowing, the wonder of life's mystery.